Hello everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIII walkthrough. We are still playing as Snow here. The last video there we obtained the, I think it's called the Power Circle. And I equipped that on Snow. Reason being the Power Circle boosts up his physical damage while lowering his magical damage. For the time being with his commando role right now, his stat, the only stat that he works off of is his power stat anyway, so it didn't really seem like it was that big of a deal to remove the to reduce his magic damage. I was just kind of distracted here looking at Godot's health. I don't know why it's in questions. Or why there's question marks. I really don't understand that. It's kind of weird. Anyways, whatever. This is actually that was a rougher fight. Those Psycom, oh boy, now I'm not going to remember their names. The ones that have the jetpacks are pretty tanky. And so obviously we took quite a bit of damage there for that fight. I believe there's a treasure sphere hidden back in here. Yep, alright. Let's pop this bad boy open. 100 gil, okay. So, like I mentioned earlier, the gil in this game is difficult to obtain, and once it becomes more relevant, we'll do a little discussion on that.
Weapon ready to fire. Stay sharp.
All right, on my gun.
Right.
Go!
All right. They're like the war cries here before this battle starts. Okay. Anyway, sorry. My impressions are horrible. Anyways, let's punch these turkeys down. Alright. Pretty easy fight. Alrighty, now I got a little cutscene here. Riding on these weird bike things.
That's a sad sound. Where's the soul?
Hey, Godot.
Yeah?
If you don't know who you've got to save, you just protect them all, right?
Something on your mind? You got plenty of time for thinking on the way, hero.
Yeah.
Ready! Go! Hey! It's us! It's us!
Don't shoot!
Snow!
Since when do you care about kids?
Favor for a friend.
Okay.
Hey, Snow! You made it!
Hey, yo. So,
Hey.
you really managed to use that thing?
I think I'm done.
You're done when we are.
Ow, what's it?
That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
Yeah,
All right then.
but
I'll go with you.
What?
You have no idea what it was like. Oh.
Everyone safe?
The army's no match for Nora.
I meant the kids.
All accounted for.
Okay. Let's keep it that way, all right? I'll swing by the Vestige. Keep the kids out of trouble.
You got it. Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband.
Dinner's on me.
Better be home cooking.
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry, none of you are invited.
We're still going.
Hey, you serious?
What about me?
Catch you later.
Oh.
Alright, so now we've got control of our next two main characters, Hope and Vanille. I think this is actually a dead end back here, but I kind of wanted to see what all these different NPCs would say as I ran by them. Again, if you want to hear it, you really have to crank it up because they talk really quietly, and there's a lot of like gunfire and stuff overhead, so it can be difficult to make out what they're trying to say. So as far as characters go here, I would say so everybody's kind of got like their advantages and disadvantages, or yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. But to be honest, I think Hope is my least favorite character. Not because of his combat ability, but the character himself. Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever, but he's definitely my least favorite. Not to say that he's not useful. That is quite the opposite. He's an extremely. I think he actually might be the best healer in the game. Actually, I think that's the general consensus, anyways, that he's the best. But for whatever reason, again, I really just don't like his actual character. But you know, whatever. Anyways, not a bad idea to save right here. Alright, let's get the show on the road. So we'll have another little cutscene coming up here where these two mischief makers jump on another one of these speed bike things.
Crying. Boys don't do to deserve this. Let's split up and find a way out of here.
We try to go as far as we can.
I think I'd rather have died with everyone else.
One wrong step and I'm dead too. I'm getting out of here. I'll run to the other side of Cocoon for now.
I think I'd rather. Stay focused or we're done for. Crying. You okay?
I want to tell him. It's just that.
Say, you know how to fly this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. In you go. That way.
No.
Huh?
If we go in there, that thing could. It could make us Lassie. This is... I don't think I can...
You can do it.
What are you two doing?
Here we go!
Uh-oh. Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
The pulse fell sea. It held our future. And our fate.
Oh, that's kind of weird. I didn't realize they gave you another save point right there. Kind of pointless, but whatever.
Close. Now, where is the... Oops. Well then... Guess it's just us.
What did you expect? Even soldiers know not to go near the foul sea. You become a pulseless sea, and you're finished.
What do you mean, finished?
Haven't you heard, Miss...
Vanille.
Huh?
My name. And yours?
Hope. Thank you. What were we thinking?
Well, since we're here, let's look around.
Alright, so here we are at the Pulse Fell Sea. This is Lower World Vestige. Okay, fun.
Oh, check this out.
Hey! Vanille, where are you?
Well?
That's,
No daydreaming now.
Okay, so Vanille, I don't know why, but every time I see Vanille swinging the her weapon around like that, it reminds me of like a little child playing with a machine gun. Like the destructive power on this thing is kind of, I don't know. Anyways, B&W Outfitters. All right, cool. So that's our next shop.
Back to exploring.
All right, back to exploring. So, Hope, and I didn't notice that before, but the Air Wings got the ability Critical Shield. So whenever he gets really low on HP, he will get the Shield spell to activate, I suppose, on him. I don't know that I've ever actually had it trigger, but I don't know that I've ever actually really looked for it, though, either. And here's B&W Outfitters. So, this is like the first like equipment shop, I guess, and you can buy the iron bangles there. Obviously, I didn't have enough cash to buy one, but but it is there. I think the shop gets upgraded too later on. Actually, if I remember right, the way that the shop upgrades in this game is it actually depends on the shop, but I think as you obtain equipment, as long as it's eligible, it'll show up then in the shop list. So being that we've found iron bangles, it shows up in the shop list. So I'm actually kind of curious if we didn't obtain any iron bangles from treasure chests, if that would still show up in the B&W Outfitters list or not. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that. I guess I've never really thought about it until now, but I would sure think then, if we haven't obtained any, that it wouldn't be in the shop list. So, I don't know. Interesting thought. Anyways, this area here is actually a fantastic place to farm for Deceptisol as well as, I believe it's Fortisol. Now, the first visit, not so much, but the second time we gain control, because we actually will lose control of Hope and Vanille here in a little bit. But the next time we are in the area as them, it will be farmable, and I'll actually include a little bit of footage of that once that's actually, I suppose, relevant. But the great thing is, again, like I said earlier, is it's a really good place to farm Fortisol and Deceptisol. I'm not really sure why, but I suppose at the very beginning of the game they just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a boost to try to help out. So the drop rate on it is insane right now. I guess I don't know what the exact drop rate is, but normally Deceptisol and Fortisol would not be dropping at nearly the rate that we will be obtaining it. So again, if you want to spend the time to do that, go ahead. I will point out where or when that becomes more relevant. I believe we need to swap over to Snow at least once more, as well as Lightning and Saz, and then, like I said, once we actually come back to these two, those two items will become farmable for a very limited time. So again, if that's something that you want to do, you may want to think about, taking advantage of it while you can. Alright, so here's the kind of tutorial, I suppose, on preemptive strikes and whatnot. Obviously, I've already gotten into at least one preemptive strike, I believe, that I saw, and I don't think it panned out that way here, though. So basically, all enemies have like a certain radius or like awareness, and depending on the enemy, sometimes it's easier to get preemptive strikes. You also can just watch the enemies, and usually you want to get behind them, obviously, to initiate those preemptive strikes. Now, I was fairly close this time, but apparently I didn't do it quite well enough, because this did not end up being a preemptive. But as I said earlier, preemptive strikes are extremely beneficial. So if you can, there's a Deceptisol. That's what I was talking about earlier. But if you can try to go for those preemptives, you'll definitely want to do that. And there's another Iron Bangle. This one I'm going to stick on Hope, just because his HP is so low. There you go. So now he's up to 220. One thing I forgot to mention, and maybe it's already obvious by now, but you don't need to heal up after fights. That happens automatically. So you automatically start the next battle at full health.
No daydreaming now.
So again, very interesting. That's fairly rare for a a Final Fantasy game. But it is interesting though too. It's kind of nice. It's got its benefits. It's also got its I suppose there's issues with it though as well. But I feel like it works. I feel like it works really well within the game. Pantheron. Okay. Wicked Fang and a Chip Fang. Alright, so no Deceptisol that time, but that's okay. So basically what we'll end up doing is, like I said, once we come back here, we'll be able to farm that.
Aren't you scared?
Not so much.
You really don't get it.
Pulse Falsey and Lissy are bad news. That's why Cocoon kicked them out. Live too close to the Falsey, one-way ticket to Pulse. That's the purge in a nutshell.
If they catch us here, they'll purge us too. And
What's
then...
your problem?
What's my... Pulse is hell on Earth.
We'll be okay. Calm down.
Get off me.
Sarah? Huh? Can you hear me? Where are you? Don't worry, Sarah. Your hero is on his way. Wonder what that's for.
Well, let's go find out. Alright, so back in control of Snow. Unfortunately, he is completely alone. But that's alright. He kicks enough butt by himself. Basically, immediately you're going to want to turn around and come back here to this treasure sphere. It's got 2 potions. And then I believe up here is a dead end, so I'm not really sure why I went up here, but that's alright. Not the end of the world. So, earlier there where Vanille and Hope are talking, Vanille sums up the purge pretty quickly there. She says basically the Pulse Falsey as well as the Pulse Lassie are bad news. And if you get too close to either one of those, you get a one-way ticket to Pulse, which, you know, again is the purge. So, again, really short and sweet way to sum up kind of what happens if you you know, come too close to the Falsey or the Lassie, I guess in that case too. I feel like sometimes the terms get a little bit lost on me, or I think that was my main struggle with the first time I played, was keeping all the different things straight. Because again, you know, I'd never, this is the first time I ever heard the term Lassie or Falsey, so you know, in subsequent playthroughs it gets a little easier to understand you know, what's going on, but again, I guess to sum it up in Vanille's words is get too close and you get a one-way ticket to Pulse. So, or maybe get too close, get purged. And here, I don't know what this is, some sort of switch or something like that. So you're gonna want to activate that, and that will move the I don't know, platforms around, I suppose.
Still won't budge? I think the door's winning.
Why didn't I listen?
Beg your pardon?
It was me. This is my fault.
Beg your pardon?
Cover your ears.
Huh? Oh, blast charge? Oh, wait, hold on. All right, hold. All right, go for it! Make it happen!
I
I'm so sorry. Please let me in. Please?
Hey! Wait. What? How'd you open it? After you.
Alright, so the magic word was please. Alright, shrouds. Special single-use aerosols that can be used outside of battle. Blibbity blabbity bloobity. Alright, so here's your little shroud tutorial here. So basically, Deceptisol will make you invisible, which means you can either slip past enemies, or you can more easily initiate preemptive battles with them, and that will become extremely useful in certain cases. I think I've got a battle coming up here where we will use one. Fortisol. I can't remember what Fortisol does right off the top of my head. I feel like that's the defensive one. I don't know. So there's Deceptisol, Fortisol, and now I need to look up the last one because I don't remember. It's been way too long since I've played this game. Alright, so Fortisol casts Bravery, Faith, and Haste at the start of battle. Those are extremely useful. Again, you know, Deceptisol says makes the party difficult for passing enemies to detect, allowing the player to avoid enemy encounters or to trigger preemptive battle. So there you go. There's a sum up for those two. Once we actually get Aegisol, I'll probably bring that up again. But for the time being, I guess all you have to know is that it casts Protect, Shell, Veil, and Vigilance. So it seems to be it's more of a like defensive buffs, whereas Fortisol seems to be more offensively, I guess, oriented. Anyways, let's keep plugging along here. There is one more shroud, but I'll talk about that probably once it becomes available or once it's more relevant. Alright, anyways. Good fang, alright. So one thing, actually, now that I think about it, we might as well discuss it here while we're in the area. But here in the Pulse Vestige, this is all basically the area we're at right now is the Pulse Vestige. And all of the, sorry, not all, Deceptisol as well as Fortisol has a 12% chance to drop here. Now, the thing though that I've noticed is that I'm getting much more Deceptisol than Fortisol, and I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's enemy specific. So I mean, I guess I would say that I'm killing way more of these Zwerg scan droids than anything else. But it seems to me that these Zwergs are they're definitely dropping Deceptisol. Anyways, alright, so here's me using one. So there I was invisible to this Myrmidon, and I just used it here on this guy just because I knew he was going to be much more beefy than the other encounters in this area. So I generally try to avoid using Deceptisol unless it's going to be for certain fights that I know are going to be extremely difficult. I shouldn't say that. Not that they're going to be extremely difficult, but I guess if I'm familiar with an area and I know it's going to be a more difficult battle, that's when I will use one. They are obviously extremely limited in quantity, so it's not like you're going to be able to spam the heck out of them. So unless you you know, spend a lot of time farming them. But anyways, like I said earlier, this area's got a 12% chance to drop the shrouds. Now, I don't know, I feel like because I'm fighting more of these Zwerg Scandroids, they seem to be dropping the Deceptisol, and it seems to me that these Pantherons are what, you know, seem to be dropping the Fortisol more. So I'm not 100% sure if that's indeed the case, but there you go. So there's a Fortisol. Speaking of which, but you know, again, just doing a little bit of farming here, I'm getting much more Deceptisol, and that being said, there's way more Zwerg Scandroids in this area than Pantheron. So again, I think there's something to that. I'll do a little confirmation, but anyways, all right. So we got a new upgrade here for lightning. Well, you can kind of consider it an upgrade depending on what she's doing. But being that she is in I believe she's a commando right now. So being that she is in that role, she's not using any magic powers whatsoever. So I felt, you know, just fine about getting rid of, or you know, equipping the Gladius instead, because it's going to drop her magic powers but increase her physical damage, which, you know, again, is what she's doing 100% of the time. So it feels like it definitely makes sense to swap that weapon over, much the same as the reason for swapping Snow's weapon over to the power circle earlier. But anyway, so I used another Deceptisol for this fight. I really wanted to take these guys down quick, and staggering that Myrmidon right off the bat was, you know, a good use, I suppose. So there I got a Deceptisol, but I was fighting a Pantheron and a Myrmidon.
Those
So
things
I
are
don't know.
still around. Might be some soldiers trapped in here too. Except they'd probably be Lassie by now, huh? Not even human anymore. Just post-Lassie. Enemies of Cocoon. Can't show them any mercy.
There's the next one.
Alrighty, so here we are at the House of Stairs, and once again, turn right around and run straight down here. We've got another treasure sphere. 2 potions, alright. Alright, so back to the whole shroud discussion. It seems to me, anyway, that in this area, it just seems like Deceptisol has a more common drop rate than the Fortisol does.
Nothing to worry about.
Like, just looking at it right now, rough guesstimate, I'm getting at least twice the number of Deceptisol per Fortisol. So, I guess use that information as you see fit. Another note on shrouds is actually the worse you do in combat, the more likely it is you will obtain shrouds. So it's something like at a 0-star rating, you get 8, or your rate at obtaining them is multiplied by 8. So, you know, I don't know. I guess use that information as you see fit. Alright, so there was the last switch.
Hang on, baby. Your hero's on the way. Hang on, baby. Your hero's on the way.
He is here. Calling himself a hero?
He's coming our way.
What should I do?
Tell him what you need to.
But nothing I say'll change what happened.
We could just run away.
All right, so here we have it. We are back in control of Hope and Vanille. And I would say that this is probably the best time to farm for Deceptisols and Fortisols. And that is what I spent a ton of time doing when I was making, actually the last, I don't know, what was this? I think this is the third video. So basically, while I was doing the commentary for this, I was I was farming in this spot. So you'll see in the following video, I end up with just a ton of Deceptisol and Fortisol, and you know, this is the reason why. Again, in the next video, actually, I'll do a quick little passive, basically my routine that I go through in order to farm this stuff. So again, you'll get to see that in the next video. But I don't know, you don't have to go overboard. You definitely don't need to sit here as long as I did. The other benefit, I suppose, of farming in this area is you do get the items for upgrading your gear later, but I don't know, to be honest, that's not really the great part about farming here. It is, in fact, farming up the Deceptisols and Fortisols. Speaking of Fortisol, wow, well, there's one right there. Alright, so these guys are gonna guard, these two kind of guard the passageway to the next area. And so what I do, actually, I just run through to the next area, and then I end up coming back. But again, I'll walk you through that in the next video. But I'm gonna cut the commentary here. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. These guys are helpful though, and hope you join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.